Welcome back to it. I promised you guys we'd start the timber framing projects and the tools we need to get our logs out of the woods. So tonight we're going to start our log arch build. Now we're doing a double log arch system, one for the back of the log, one for the front of the log. Chances are a lot of the times probably just the one on the front will be just fine. I'm told by a guy I work with who's done this a little bit that sometimes having that arch on the back of the log can be a real pain in the ass when you're trying to get the log out of the woods if you have to make turns. But we're going to go with it. We're going to see what works best for us. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. I can already warn you that I'm filming the outro afterwards. So there's no sound of the tools working in this. It was so loud in here with the salamander running, things like that. We had our first snow today. And it's actually, we have a coating on the ground. So that's always good, you know, not even November yet, but that's more like the winters of old. So anyway, stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you on the other side of this song video. All right, so here's the base of this thing, welded up, ready to carry on some more. We have to make an upper frame on it. So how this is gonna work is we're gonna have an electric winch hooked to this thing. I already have one. We'll make a its own battery tray in here. And I don't know if, I may make it so I can hook it up to the wheeler if needs be. to run the power off the wheeler. Of course, I may not, because to be honest with you, now maybe I second thought about that. Probably not. The wheeler batteries are pretty small after all, even though you'd probably be running it with the four-wheeler running, but maybe it wouldn't be good to overtax that electrical system. So probably what would be a good idea is maybe to, I don't know, some kind of a solar charger, something like that, or just charge the battery well before I go to the woods. Probably what I'll do is I'll probably buy a tractor battery. They have a lot of cranking amps. They hold a lot of juice, and we're very familiar with them. So we're going to be able to haul a 33-inch diameter log at the most with this. I don't plan on hauling anything nearly that big with that four-wheeler. Now, that's not to say that I won't hook this to the tractor if I want to haul something a little bigger just to get one end out of the dirt. We're using, the square tube is 2 1/8 inch OD. This stuff's 2-inch OD, 1/4 inch wall. This stuff's a little bit thinner wall. We're doing a long tongue on this. The tongue itself is about 44 inches. The reason for that, we're going to have some supports that run a little bit closer back to the hitch of the wheeler itself. This will become more apparent as we move along with this, but I just kind of wanted to get this base done tonight, and then maybe I can do some thinking on it tomorrow while I'm at work, and I should be thinking about doing my job, but I'd rather think about fun projects. I know that's a hell of a thing. They must really get their money's worth out of me, I'll tell you that. But so the tires on this are going to mount down here. We're going to drill these out for, I'll get some solid shaft, short axle. I can't think. I'm tired. It was another working out of town day. Fortunately, tomorrow I'm local, so I hopefully will have a little bit more time tomorrow night to work on this. We've got about 2 hours into this right now. That's not too bad. This is all scrap material I had kicking around, which is cool. I always like that. And you guys wonder why, everybody wonders why I haul so much crap home and why this place looks like it does. But to be honest with you, I'm sick of apologizing for it. This is just the way I work, so people either like it or they don't. That's just the way it is. But anyway, we'll have to get a hitch for it, all that good stuff. We're going to carry on. We're going to keep plugging. I do have I think about an 18-foot long log outside to test this with. It should be good and heavy. It's been sitting out there in the wet for a few years now. I cut the tree down back when we were logging for the barn, and it never got used. I unfortunately ended up, other things happened before I could use that on the mill. But also coming up, in terms of the timber frame build for the house addition, I'm actually going to start milling my exterior cedar trim now. Reason being is I want that stuff to have its year to dry. Hopefully it doesn't take a year to have to use it. But it's white cedar, so it's pretty rot resistant. We have a nice big white cedar log out there on the sawmill. I'd like to get that milled up into 1-bys, and then we will sticker stack it in the barn here, probably up in the wood shop. Get it drying so that way when we're ready to use it, by the time we get to that point, it'll be nice and dry, it'll be milled, it'll be ready to go. Pretty much this whole addition is going to be mostly wood. I'm not planning on no drywall, none of that stuff, because I hate drywall. It's all wood, and I'm going to pretty much, about the only thing I won't be able to mill up is going to be sheet goods for this. But all the wallboard inside, everything, we're going to mill it ourselves. We'll do our own shiplap or tongue and groove, whatever we happen to be doing. I have a bunch of bits I can use for that radial arm saw to make the boards I want for this. Kind of use it like a shaper. So yeah, we're getting there. It's getting exciting. I'll be a lot more excited when we hook this thing up to the wheeler, we get out to the woods and we drop some trees, and then we start running the sawmill, then we start running the chain mortiser, and then the big beam saw. Oh boy, I'm getting all hot and bothered just thinking about this timber frame coming up. So very hot and bothered. The cool thing is for me, with so many acreage, I mean, you fathom 2,000 acres of woods, and a good chunk of it's covered in evergreens. The reason that they would like those out of there is because they prefer the hardwoods coming up for their hunting, and the evergreens choke out a lot of the hardwoods where they're at. So the hemlock, when you start getting stands of hemlock going, they spread like wildfire and they grow fairly quickly. So that really works to our benefit. And I have a feeling once I get into the property itself a little bit, I have a feeling I'll find some white pine. And if I find enough white pine, the right size I'm looking for, we'll do it out of white pine. But as of right now, we're looking to do it out of hemlock. This damn thing acts like I feed them. But anyway, enough of my rambling. You guys have a good night. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one.